welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Courtney and this is Creative on the Cheap, where I like to do budget-friendly DIYs and home decor, as well as show you some DIY tips, tricks, and techniques along the way. I am super excited for today's video because it is my very first Showcase Saturday of 2020. If you're wondering what Showcase Saturday is, it's a way for me to feature you guys. The way these projects get picked is simple. It's just projects of people that I see in my Facebook group or that might tag me on Instagram or Twitter. I see these projects and I think, ooh, one day I want to make those. And so I screenshot them, I put them in an album in my Hope to Do One Day album, and now I'm just trying to roll them out. So the person does not know that they're going to be featured. I give them no heads up until this actual video goes live. Now, without further ado, let's get into who this person is. I'm going to recreate the project, put my take on it, but the first things first is to tell you it is and show you what the project is and what the inspiration is that I am using. All right, the person who is being featured in the first ever Showcase Saturday is Pamela H. I hope I said your last name right. Let me put a picture up now. This is her project. On her Facebook post, it says, I did this at Christmas with word joy. Now I created a love one for Valentine's Day. I also have a home one. And it's so precious. I absolutely love it. And now I'm going to do it, take my own take on it. Pamela, thank you for the inspiration. I'm so excited to feature you. And yeah, let's get into today's DIY. We are ready to start this project. Now, the awesome thing about this project is it actually only cost me $1 to make. I just had to purchase this frame right here and it came from Dollar Tree. Now, once I get the wrapping off, I'm gonna take off the back and the glass of the frame, and then I'm gonna paint it with one coat of the Waverly White chalk paint. Because I'm making a custom printable for this, I needed to go ahead and measure the actual opening of the frame, the height, the width, and then figure out where my little block of text is going to go. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just kind of using a ruler to figure out the placement of where I'm going to want the text in my printable to go. Here is the custom printable that I made. I will definitely link it down below for you guys if you would like to use it. And now what I'm going to do is take my frame, put it over, kind of make sure that this is where, because I actually do need the white portion of this paper. I'm not cutting out just the text, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of mess with this, place it, and then when I've decided where I want the wording to go within my frame, I'm going to take a pencil and I'm just going to mark the corners of the frame, and that will let me know and help me to trim up my printable. Now, the frame had a little bit of a lip around the inside of it, so I'm going around now and adding ½ centimeter to where I placed those marks, because if I actually trimmed it where I originally marked it within the frame, the paper would fall through because there is that little lip. So I needed to make sure I included that in the measurement, and now I'm ready to just go ahead and quickly trim it all the way around. You guys, I interrupt this voiceover to show you what just happened. I was trimming the paper, as you saw. I went to grab the scraps to throw them away, and look what I crinkled in. I just crinkled my printable. But honestly, I'm kind of digging it. Happy mistake, as Bob Ross would say. So I think I'm gonna keep crinkling this and go with it. So this oopsie turned into a yippee. I actually loved how this looked. It reminded me of linen, and of course that reminds me of spring and summer, so I am totally happy with this being all crinkled up. I really like it like that. So now that I've figured that out and gotten past that little mistake, I'm going to take some spray adhesive, and I'm going to end up attaching this actually to the piece of glass because I need that thickness back into the frame to mount this. So right now, I will say this, when I was putting this in here, because I crinkled it, it kind of shrunk my measurements. So at this moment in my brain, I'm kind of like, oh great, it's not gonna fit, it's gonna fall through the frame. But then I realized once I start putting it down on the surface that I'm adhering to, it starts to spread out again. So I'm gonna use spray adhesive and I'm gonna go ahead and get this attached. So the reason that I sprayed just the top of this is I realized I wanted to probably go ahead and work in sections because I am having to kind of stretch the paper and manipulate it. So I found this to be really, really easy to do it this way. I really feel like if I had sprayed the whole thing and tried to tackle it all at once, I would have messed it up big time. So this definitely works to just work in sections, especially if the paper is crinkled like this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and assemble my frame back together, and then I'm ready to start working on the embellishments. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just kind of lay out the Scrabble letters that I have from an old game. And then once I kind of figured out where those are gonna go, I'm gonna start getting to work on my felt flowers. Here are the two pieces of felt I decided to use. The green one is a stiffer felt from Arteza, and this pink one is from Hobby Lobby. It was 33 cents, but I got it on a buy four for $1 deal. With this pink, I'm going to be making two different types of roses. So I'm just going to cut squares. I will use this process for all of the roses. I'm using these curved blade scissors. They are from Fiskars. I've shown these to you guys before. They are fantastic for working with felt. I'll link them down below. And I'm just going to freehand cutting circles. You could get technical and trace out and if you wanted to, but I find this works just fine. And I'm just cutting different size squares so that I have different sized circles. All right, we're gonna work on the more complicated, it's really not that complicated, of the two roses. So the first step is to take your circle and fold it in half. Once you've done that, you wanna take a pair of scissors and cut a small snip in the center of your circle. When you've got your little slit there, you're gonna open it up, then taking a pair of scissors, which again, this is why these curved ones work great for this, start at the edge of the slit and you're just going to make little rounded, kind of like the edge of a petal, I guess you could describe it. And you're just, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like there's a lot of, give in this type rose. It does not need to be perfect. So I'm just gonna keep going around like this, making little bumps until I get and work my way all the way to the edge of this felt circle. And here's what it looks like once you go through and kind of make your little petal bumps. So starting on the end where you finished, so not your initial starting point, you're just gonna take the felt and you're just gonna roll it up into itself. And you're gonna keep rolling until you work your way into the end of the piece of felt. Here's what it looks like when it's all finished, and then I'm just going to take some hot glue and I'm just going to go ahead and close off the end of that onto it, and voila, it's finished. This second rose is super easy. This is the one that I actually did at the Surebonder demo if you saw my Creativation vlog. So again, cut a circle. I made this one a little bit larger. Take your scissors and you're going to start on the edge of the circle and you're just going to go cutting a spiral. You can try to make them evenly, as you can see here, the width evenly as you continue to go into the circle, or you can kind of widen in some places or make it skinnier in some places as you're spiraling all the way in. It doesn't matter, it just depends on how much texture you want your rose to have, and you can play with that and see which look you like better. Some people like it very uniform, others like it a little more whimsical. So just gonna keep cutting until you get into the center. Once you hit the center, you want to leave a little bit of kind of a circle so that you have something to glue to the bottom of it. Okay, this rose is ready to go. So again, you start at the opposite end, the end where you started cutting the circle, and you just roll it onto itself, continuing to roll till you get to the end, and then secure it with hot glue. For the leaves, I really didn't do anything special. I just cut some shapes that I like. I did end up cutting 4 to start, but then I realized I just wanted to use 2. Now it's time to start pulling this frame together with the last of the embellishments. So I'm going to start with some twine. I'm going to wrap it on one end and I'm going to go around 5 times. Then I'm just going to tie a knot in the back to secure it versus using hot glue. Then I will take a little piece of twine and tie a little bow and kind of cinch these 5 pieces together. Next, I'm going to go ahead and place down my roses and my leaves, and then I'll go ahead and take the Scrabble tiles and place them down, and then once I get the look that I want, I'm going to start by gluing down the Scrabble tiles just using hot glue. Then I'll go back and glue down my roses. All right, so after I got the flowers down, I felt like it needed something else, so I grabbed some of these wooden beads that I always get from Amazon. I'll link them down below. I did an all call to my buddies last night, and I was like, please vote with or without the beads. The consensus was with, so I'm just gonna use some hot glue, glue these beads down, and then my little sign is all finished. I did want to show you this quick option. If you wanted to make it a little more shabby chic, just take a piece of lace and add it underneath the twine, and then put the twine on top. All right, guys, there you have it. Thank you, Pamela, for the inspiration. I was super excited to feature you this month. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Creative on the Cheap for bonus DIYs, monthly challenges, bargain shopping finds, a little behind the scenes. You can also find me on Twitter at Creative on the. Stop there, don't add the word cheap for a little bit more of my cheeky side. I do now also have a P.O. box. It is down below in the description box. I've had a couple of you ask if you could send me some handmade cards that you made. I love Happy Mail. If you want to send me some cards, I would love them. And then possibly, you know, do some showing of the sweet projects that you guys are wanting to send me. So that information is down below for those of you who have been asking. All right, guys, without any further ado, I want to say thank you so much. I can't wait to feature another one of you. Don't forget how you can get featured. Just be part of my Facebook group or tag me on Instagram and Twitter. And that's it. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.